Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Help for the Guildless. My name is Cole Spire, and tonight I have a couple of guests with me because we are talking about WWE's Battleground. I have with me Wendy and Brakkas again. We all sat down and watched this amazing pay-per-view. Brakkas and I are fans of the WWE. Wendy, on the other hand, still claims she's not a fan, but we're fixing that. So we're going to go through our opinions and everything about how the matches worked out, starting with the first match that was on the pre-show, which is King Barrett and R-Truth. You didn't see it because you were out, Wendy, but you and I talked about it. We didn't really pay attention to it because it's R-Truth. We know what the feud was about. It's just it wasn't that great of a match. King Barrett won against R-Truth, and the match was for the King of the Ring crown. So they're doing that again, where it gets passed around. What do you think?
Honestly, rehashing old ideas. Basically, rehashing an old idea or an old concept, like changing the crown around or something like that. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of something like that. I mean, under special conditions with characters like Triple H versus King Barrett, maybe. But this was not a past champion versus a current King of the Ring champion. It just doesn't work like that. It would have to be champion versus champion, in my personal opinion.
But at the same time, when they were passing the King title around, it went King Harley Race to Macho King Randy Savage, and he became one of the best heels at the WWE at that time. So, I mean, there is the option of passing around this royalty that has the ability to create some really good feuds and possibly some really good bad guys. I mean, look at King Booker. He went nuts with the whole King thing.
Yeah, but they weren't trading around the crown at that point. Booker was just taking the power to his head. A lot of times when you get a character who is heel, and he gets the King of the Ring, he's a complete tool about it. Booker T gets a cape and a crown and a scepter, and he walks around with his wife, who
oh, hail King Booker!
It's just so, off the wall crazy. But when Triple H got the last King of the Ring title, what did he do? He got a brand new intro song, came out the same way he would as the game, but for special pay-per-views, he would rise up from the stage or come out on some kind of a throne, and he would be this Viking lord,
the King of Kings.
Badassery. He was the King of Kings. He even took the mantle of King of Kings because he was the last one.
We did mention a term that a lot of people don't maybe not know if they're not fans of the WWE or not really into the backstage stuff. Heel means bad guy. Babyface, which you'll probably hear us talk about sometime, means good guy. And that's also for Wendy because she doesn't pay attention.
Sometimes face is just simply face. A lot of people like the term babyface because it really does fit better. But personally, I just go with face versus heel.
I do want to say bad news. Barrett looks like freaking dumbass as in the cape and the crown.
Alright, I'm not gonna lie. I have to agree with Wendy. Barrett, you gotta if you somehow are listening to this, you've gotta get rid of that cape, bro. Keep the crown if you want it.
No capes.
No capes.
That cape is ridiculous. I don't understand what every heel's obsession with wearing a fucking crown, holding a scepter, and wearing a cape is. Dude, not every king did that. All right?
Stone Cold Steve Austin did not wear the crown, did not wear the cape, and did not carry the scepter.
He also didn't turn heel until
he was already a heel.
He was anti-hero. At that point, when he became Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was 100% pure anti-hero. He did not give any fucks. He went in and did whatever he wanted. He was no longer the heel ringmaster or stunning Steve Austin.
The ringmaster was a horrible gimmick. But that aside, we will move to the very first match on the actual card. Like I said, King Barrett against R-Truth was on the pre-show. The first match on the card, which I think was a shame because it was actually pretty bad, and neither of these competitors need to be the beginning match. It was Randy Orton against Sheamus. And it was just a rivalry match. It wasn't for the Money in the Bank Money in the Bank contract. It was just Randy Orton and Sheamus fighting each other. To me, the rivalry seemed forced. They they want to give Randy Orton as a face a good rivalry, and Sheamus is a great worker, but there was no reason for this. And the fact that they got put the first match on the card, neither of them are first match competitors.
That's true.
From what I've seen, there's no build to it. There's no reason. There's not like a good story or anything like that I've seen.
Well, you guys are forgetting extremely crucial details on this. A couple of years ago, there was a certain faction going around beating the ever-living shit out of everybody in the ring called The Shield. The Shield specifically targeted Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, Ryback, Big Show, Kane, and yes, Sheamus.
Because he was a face at that point.
Every one of these guys were face or anti-hero at this point, and they were all targeted by the Shield because the fact that they were really, really popular, and the Shield believed they did not deserve this popularity. At one point, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Kane team up. Randy Orton, Ryback, and Sheamus team up. Daniel Bryan, Kane, and Randy Orton team up. All 5 of these characters, at one point or another, were actually allies with each other and continued their own personal rivalries with each other. Randy Orton versus Sheamus has actually been going on for about 3.5 years strong now.
Yes, but at the same time, Randy Orton was gone out of injury, and so was Sheamus. The rivalry can't continue because it's not there. It would be like Batista coming back and having a rivalry with Daniel Bryan for some strange reason. There's no reason for it. Yeah. Them coming back just to rehash a match. That's what this was. This was just them rehashing a match to throw someone on the card. Well, and they wasted 2 big talents on it.
Well, look at what they did with Barrett and R-Truth. They don't know what to do with them at this point, so they threw them into the pre-show. That's what happens is so many other talents that they don't know what to do with them, so they throw them in pre-shows all the time. Why else do you think Brodus Clay left the company?
Because he didn't want to be a Funkadactyl anymore.
Not only that, but he has this thing where, he's actually an amazing talent, and they just stopped using him.
Well, all right. Aside from storyline and rivalry apart, what do you think about... All right, so they've been building Sheamus up as the Money in the Bank champion. We know sometime during this year that the Money in the Bank contract is going to be used, and he's probably going to become world champion yet again. I forgot what I was going to bring up.
When do you think it's going to happen?
Oh, what do you think about the fact that they let Randy Orton beat Sheamus?
Oh, that is definitely going to bring up a few matches in the near future where Randy Orton continuously challenges Sheamus for his Money in the Bank contract. Sheamus is going to probably say yes at first, but he's going to win. Then Randy Orton's going to continuously throw in his face, you only won because you cheated, or something along those lines. And Sheamus is going to continue to dodge the question, where he eventually accepts the challenge one more time, and once again,
beats
Randy Orton, questionable pin, all that stuff. And then he uses it probably that same night to bro kick the shit out of Seth Rollins.
Or whoever happens to be the champion.
Yeah, I think when he uses it, Seth's not going to be the champion anymore. That's my opinion.
Then it would have to be Brock. Because
just to let everyone know, Wendy has a severe hate on for Seth Rollins.
Which I don't understand.
She doesn't, like we said, she doesn't deal with a lot of the backstage
stuff. She
follows
follows the story more than she follows everything else.
All right, moving on. Now, one more thing. The Randy Orton-Sheamus match, as the first match, was the 3rd longest match of the night. But it was not as exciting as the other matches, which, again, is a shame with the 2 talents that were being worked.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of talents.
Personal favorite wrestler right there.
The shortest match of the night happened to be the tag team title match between the Primetime Players, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, against the New Day, Big E and Kofi Kingston, with the very loud, very obnoxious hype man Xavier Woods on the outside. Okay, I can't stand the New Day's concept.
I can't stand the New Day in general.
I think the Primetime Players are really good. I keep talking about how ginormous Titus O'Neil is. The man is a giant in a sea of giants.
Yeah, you know the opening of Troy?
Yeah.
He's bigger than Bo Agrius.
Yeah, the man is huge.
Is freaking huge.
Now, what's great about it is he's talented.
Oh, yeah.
And him paired with Darren Young, I told you while we were watching it, it reminds me of Power and Glory. For those of you who don't know what Power and Glory was, this is from the heyday of the 80s of the WWE. It was Model Rick Martel and Hercules. Model Rick Martel was the finesse guy. Hercules, of course, was the powerhouse. Darren Young has a lot of finesse with him, and Titus O'Neil is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the culmination of them beating the New Day and retaining their titles? Do you think they're going to continue this stupid rivalry, or do you think they're going to push some other tag team like the Lucha Dragons? The Lucha Dragons, holy crap!
Oh my god, I love the Lucha Dragons. What's that guy that has the freaky name I can never actually remember?
It's
Sin Cara / Rey Mysterio Part 2. He bounces everywhere.
And Kalisto?
Kalisto. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god, that guy mesmerizes me every time I see him in the ring. I need a push on this team so friggin' badly. I'm sick and tired of New Day. New Day needs to either break up, dismantle, whatever the hell they need to do. I'm sick and tired of this.
Kofi was an amazing wrestler on his own.
Kofi is an amazing wrestler on his own. Kofi's an amazing tag team wrestler as well. So was
Big E.
Big E. Big E is an amazing tag team wrestler, but he's also an amazing individual wrestler. And personally, I think he really needs to stop with the hammock one piece that he's constantly wearing. Because seriously, I am afraid one of these days he's going to take a bad fall and something's going to fall out and suddenly he's fired from the company because an anaconda was pointing at some kid in the audience. No one wants this.
Okay, so this was a huge build-up over Raw and SmackDown. Multiple people joining to do 8-man tag teams. This was the shortest match of the night with the tag titles on the line.
Because it sucked.
Do you think that's why they cut it so short?
I think that's the reason why. Because honestly, nobody's really paying attention to either of these groups. The primetime players, when they first made an appearance as heels, they were annoyingly amazing. No one is ever going to take away their athletic skills. Mr. No Days Off himself is absolutely phenomenal. This dude can bounce around the ring all day, every day. Amazing, okay? I give mad respect to Darren Young. But Titus O'Neil is no slouch himself. He is an absolute brute force. He is basically, if I had to cast somebody to be Luke Cage in the MCU, I would go for Titus O'Neil every single time because of the voice, the size, and he looks like he would be a very entertaining Luke Cage. I'm not going to lie.
Were you here for the tag match, or did you come in? No, you came in.
I came in during it, but it.
She did not pay attention.
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
I just, looked up when freaking Xavier was being annoying.
God,
But-
he is like the most annoying girlfriend I've ever seen on the WWE.
He doesn't wrestle.
Xavier Woods is supposed to be this. Basically, he's supposed to be
It's Big E
Kingston
and
Part 2.
Yeah,
but
it's Big E and Kofi every single time. Xavier's just a hitman on the outside. Let him fucking wrestle so he can shut him up.
he's the proud girlfriend, man. Leave him alone.
All right, we're gonna move on. We want to see the Lucha Dragons and the Primetime Players, but that means
God.
Primetime Players got to go back to being a heel.
No.
No? You
No.
think they could do the rivalry between two face teams?
Think about it. When was some of the greatest tag team matches ever in the Attitude Era?
Well, Attitude Era was all the factions.
Yeah, it had a lot of factions, but it did have very specific tag teams going up against each other on a regular basis. Team Extreme, the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Versus Edge and Christian.
Okay, I got you.
Versus the Dudley Boys.
Yeah, they could do
versus the New Age Outlaws. Every one of them at one point were all anti-hero face-like characters. Not one of them was heel. And then the New Age Outlaws went heel again because Triple H went heel again. On top of that, Edge and Christian went heel in the funniest possible way you could have gone heel.
Speaking of, I keep losing my train of thought.
Yes, you do.
The Dudley Boys.
Yeah.
They recently did a public interview on ESPN trying to convince the WWE to take them back. At the Royal Rumble, when Bubba Ray came out, that is the biggest ovation I have ever seen for a dude that came in number 4.
Yeah, you got to understand, he got serious heat. Him and Devon went to TNA a few years after the Attitude Era essentially dissipated, It went away.
Yeah.
When this happened, they went over to TNA. Obviously, TNA had been running for a few years at this point, but they continued on as Bubba and Devon.
Well, Bully Ray and Devon.
No. Bully Ray didn't actually come out until after Bubba specifically went into being a bad guy heel and turned himself into the Bully Ray. Now, Bubba Ray and Devon were still the Dudley Boys. They continued to be the Dudley Boys. This is their trademark. This is their name. No one could take it away from him. But he specifically went by Bully because he became a complete D-bag. Devon eventually took a backseat for years. Bully continued to be that annoying heel that everybody kept seeing over and over again until he got such heat. He became the heavyweight champion. He ran one of the biggest factions there. He deceived a lot of people. He was basically the better cerebral. He was the cerebral assassin for TNA for a few years. The best part about that was people were watching TNA and WWE and basically were huge fans of both.
Well, aside from that, my question would be, now you haven't seen the Dudley Boys. It was part of the Attitude Era. I'm talking to Wendy, by the way.
Yeah, I really just started kind of paying attention at the beginning of the year.
I keep telling her I wish that I could have gotten a hold of her during the Attitude Era, because a lot of people became fans during the Attitude Era.
We could show her the stuff from...
I've tried.
Been kind of,
Sets up rivalry between the Primetime Players and the Lucha Dragons. Pay-per-view happens. Mystery guest for a triple threat tag team match. Dudley Boys show up.
Oh, let's get the tables all day. Everybody's going to be they're going to scream, yell, cry. Fans are
We'll probably hear some EC fucking W in the crowd.
You're going to hear ECW. You're going to hear people screaming, get the tables. You're going to see fans legitimately run into the back, steal a table from some unsuspecting vendor, and try to bring it to the ring. That people are going to get kicked out of the arena because they're going to try to bring a table to the Dudley Boys. That is how big they are, again, sort of.
So we're at an agreement that the reason this match was so short is because no one's paying attention.
No one's giving a fuck about that, the tag team division at all.
Okay, let's move on to the next match, which was the longest match of the night, which was Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns.
Oh my god.
The build-up for this match is everything that we wanted to have happen with Bray Wyatt. The mind games that they kept talking about with the last couple rivalries that they just threw him at happened at the build-up of this match. The match was amazing. They had close calls. They were outside the ring, damaging moves. Roman Reigns went for his drive-by leg drop, and Bray Wyatt freaking clotheslined him out of his fucking shoes. The match was amazing. I don't want to talk about the end of it yet, but can we talk about that they're trying to push Bray Wyatt as the new Mind Games champion like the Phenom used to be?
Yeah, actually, you could see that in, what was it, last year's WrestleMania?
Yeah.
When he was challenging The Undertaker. He's basically trying to become the new age Undertaker, literally because everybody loves The Undertaker. And similar to how DC's take on basically Batman, there must always be a Batman. Personally, I believe there must always be an Undertaker. Bray Wyatt is the new age Undertaker, in my opinion, so he needs a strong rivalry. What was one of the strongest rivalries for The Undertaker?
Mankind.
Triple H as well. Mankind only because they were forced to be friends in the beginning, but then there was the Mankind betrayal and it got crazy. But specifically Triple H. What was Triple H? The big, bad, brute force that everybody loved at one point.
Yeah. Now, Bray Wyatt ended up winning because, and we've talked about this before, they brought something back. The start of something. They brought, it wasn't Rowan, it was, what's his name?
Luke Harper.
Luke Harper. Came out of fucking nowhere, took out Roman Reigns, Sister Abigail, unneeded in the middle of the ring, pinned, both of them standing there over Roman Reigns' body.
Is it just me, or did you see way too many super kicks just being thrown around tonight? Like, seriously, there were so many super kicks. Luke Harper super kicking people.
But Luke Harper's actual finishing move is a super kick.
Still, there were way too many super kicks tonight. Everybody was super kicking the shit out of everybody. It was like, seriously? Like, is that move even now special? Do we have to go sweet chin music for it to be a finisher again?
Well, like I said, Luke Harper's his finishing move is the super kick. Seth Rollins not so much. he just uses it.
He was also like so freaking tired. You could tell his leg was fatigued. He wasn't even really kicking anymore.
No,
he was just throwing his leg.
He
in
was
the
pushing
air.
Brock Lesnar. But what did you think? You've seen me watch Raw and stuff like that, and you've seen the build-up. What did you think as not really a fan? What did you think of the rivalry, the storyline in general?
I'm not sure why he's necessarily going after Roman in particular. But Bray, like, I think I've told you before, like, I don't like Bray. Like, he's like this creepy stalker guy of my past that was traumatizing, so, like, I associate him and his character with that. So, like, I automatically just don't like him because of that whole mind game fucking asshole looking.
His character is a cult leader, like a
Right.
backwoods
Louisiana
cult leader.
Right.
Some bitch knows hoodoo left and right.
But like I told you, I mean, he looks like this guy from my past, like almost exactly. And the guy from my past was into like witchcraft and mind games, so it kind of almost fits. But anyway, so I automatically don't like Bray. I kind of wanted to see Roman win, and I already kind of, I guess, like Roman. But
she's also a fan of Randy Orton.
yeah.
Randy Orton got her into the stories. Roman Reigns is now drawing her into the fandom. Now, I want to get to this match because it was amazing, and the build-up for it was amazing. The Triple Threat Divas match. I wish this match would have went on as long as the Bray Wyatt match, but it's Charlotte, Brie Bella, and Sasha Banks. Now, the build-up for this, we were talking about beforehand, and you went and watched it, and they showed it a couple times. All three of these NXT...
You realize Sasha Banks is in the... Oh, wait.
What?
Was it Sasha Banks in the match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The boss.
Yeah, my bad.
These three NXT Divas are definitely what the Divas division need.
Oh, absolutely.
It's become so stale, so boring. Nikki Bella's been holding on to the title for as long as she possibly can because they want to take away AJ's title reign, which I don't think is fair.
It's not, because just because she's married to CM Punk and they're not friends with CM Punk anymore.
But we were talking about the girl faction, so we have the Outcasts, which is Charlotte Flair, Paige, and Becky Lynch. Then we have the Mean Girls, which is Team Bella, Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, and Alicia Fox. And then they're calling themselves Bad, which all I can think of is PMS, which is Sasha Banks, Naomi, and Tamina. The match was amazing. And it really, what it was to me, was a pay-per-view to show Charlotte and Sasha Banks and what they can do. Because Brie Bella was nowhere in that match except for a few minutes. And that was it.
Are you kidding me? Brie Bella was actually dominating in the very beginning.
For the very beginning,
And
but
then she
Alicia
came in a few
Fox,
times later too.
or not Alicia Fox, Sasha Banks and Charlotte ran that match.
They ran that match because they're the new faces in the Divas division. They're bringing them up from NXT. Brie had to make them look good. Brie made them look good, especially Charlotte. I am going to continue to say this. She is right. She is genetically superior to most of the Divas division. She is taller. She has that muscular build. She's got her dad's skills and looks. This woman is a badass.
Now, she also had what she calls the figure 8 because it is twice as good as her dad's.
It really is.
We saw the bank statement.
We did.
And we saw the figure 8.
We did.
Which one do you think is better?
Personally, the bank statement is a more vicious move to begin with. But I think that's where the tap out would initially happen, is towards the beginning of the bank statement. Eventually, you're going to get out of it because it's a backstabber into a very strong, very hard crossface. Whereas the figure 8 is a higher arched, worse pressure on the friggin' calves kind of figure 4 leg lock. This thing looks like it would just do long-term damage versus short-term damage. But I believe they're on par with each other. I just personally would go with the figure 8 because to me personally, it looks like it's going to be more painful.
What about you?
I would say the figure eight. I have to give her props for that move.
That harsh.
Out of those two, I would definitely go with the figure eight. I just wish I could have watched Becky Lynch at the pay-per-view. She's my favorite, hands down. Fiery redhead and all.
I'd say out of that match, I would found myself rooting more for Charlotte than...
Well, I'm biased towards Paige, so yeah, I was rooting for Charlotte too.
There's a lot of people biased towards Paige.
Paige is gorgeous. I love that pale skin and that British accent.
So, do we see... I've already said I see the Divas division being completely torn asunder and rebuilt with these three factions.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, I talked about it before while we were watching. I would like to see them add 3 more. Not another faction, but 3 more to the each, so we could have Charlotte, Paige, Becky Lynch, and Natalya be the Divas version of the 4 Horsemen.
You gotta remember, though, I don't think that Natalya would join them and be the 4 Horsemen. I think, personally, they would need the Glamazon herself, Beth Phoenix, to come back in to be their Arn Anderson.
But I told you, the way that Natalya has been dressing, she hasn't been going classic Hart, where you could see her with the Mean Girls. She's got a spiked collar, she's got spiked wrist pads, she's got a spiked jacket, she's dressing all in black. She looks like she should be pulling Tyson Kidd and Cesaro down to the ring with collars. She looks like she's gone to the dark side. Okay. It's a good look for her, but I could see her blending more with them, and she is definitely an enforcer compared to the other 3. Plus, she's got the build for it, and she's got the skills for it.
She's another legacy, and she has her own spin on the sharpshooter, so I guess, yeah, that would work.
You don't know who the 4 Horsemen is, but I'll explain that later.
Just gonna bring this stuff up on a freaking podcast.
Well,
you got 2 wrestling fans.
You could have just totally, not said anything about that.
Okay, next match, and my second favorite, aside from the main event, because the main event is the one I was looking forward to. John Cena, Kevin Owens, United States Championship.
I'm not gonna lie, this was my favorite match of the night.
This match was amazing. That one shoulder buster move that Kevin Owens pulled out at the end that JBL said, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah. Wow.
JBL has years, decades of wrestling knowledge. Kevin Owens pulled a move out that he couldn't even follow. John Cena threw everything at Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens threw everything at John Cena. They left it in the ring. The match was fucking amazing. It was the second longest match, and I didn't want it to end.
Oh, neither did I. Kevin Owens constantly blows my mind.
Move thief. All I have to say.
Move thief twice. 2 in a row. He didn't just hit him with the AA. He hit him with the STF immediately after. Oh my God, that was phenomenal. But Kevin Owens blows me away because the look of this man looks like your basic average fat guy bodybuilder kind of dude.
Ground and pound.
Pretty much, he looks like the kind of guy that would take you to the ground, hit you with an ankle lock, possibly give you a sharpshooter, cloverleaf, whatever, and he's going to submission you into, losing the match. Or he's going to beat the living crap
out of you.
But this guy's jumping off the top rope, springboard attacking all over the place. Then
the cannonball.
The cannonball? Oh my God.
You saw it. He throws John Cena into the lower half of the corner, and then he does a basic running senton into his face. The senton is where he flips over and he hits him basically with the lower part of his back. Mm-hmm. And then he does the fucking senton splash on the outside.
The guy has got mad skill overall. All around, everything, every attribute you can think of. He's got the speed, the stamina, the endurance, the strength. His finisher... That
pop-up
power bomb is absolutely gorgeous. I love that move. But still, the one move that caught our eye more than anything was that freaking weird inverted backbreaker.
I would say it was like an inverted shoulder breaker.
Yeah.
It was kind of like Cesaro's what's it called? His finisher. I can't remember what the name of the damn
neutralizer?
thing. Neutralizer. Except it was a little bit raised up and it hit him on the shoulder with his knee up.
Yeah. It was a backbreaker, but on the shoulder specifically.
It was gorgeous. If you haven't seen it, get WWE Network, watch it, and then unsubscribe from it so you don't have to pay anything. But you have to watch the match. It
or
was
wait
amazing.
3 weeks and then watch it on YouTube because
That
it'll be
too.
there.
I don't know. From my perspective, like John Cena, like I could really give a shit less about.
Oh, see the hate, the absolute
There's no-
hate for John Cena.
There's no reason for it except he is the golden boy and everybody hates him for it.
But I mean, like, there's nothing that captures me or brings me in with Kevin Owens and John Cena. Like, I don't think it's not really that big of a deal. And like, honestly, I like lost all attention when that match came on, and I was just like, whatever. And I know you guys were like ooh and on over all the moves and the match and everything, but I was just kind of like.
John Cena gets a lot of hate. This is perfect example. She doesn't really follow the wrestlers yet. She follows the characters. And John Cena's character is the Golden Boy.
Mm-hmm.
You said yourself, he's Superman in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
You might as well have him spouting Hulk Hogan's, drink your milk, eat your vitamins, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Say your prayers.
And Kevin Owens has this old school villain feel to him. It's his attitude, everything, but he's got these new school moves, and it's a perfect marriage.
It's kind of like when Randy Savage broke up Superpower because he thought Hulk Hogan was trying to hook up with Miss Elizabeth, which was weird, so Randy went like kind of crazy bad.
But the match was amazing. It was